My daughter just got back from visiting my mother, and my daughter and I were just unpacking her experience. And she said, Mom, I think I'm different than most of my friends. You see, because when something happens and someone isn't nice to me, or we get into it, or I'm feeling slighted, the first thing I do, Mom, is I think about the other person's perspective. And then I think about what someone who was objective looking in at the situation might think. After she gets clear on herself, she looks at what the other person's perspective is, and then like a third party, objective third party might think. And I said, what difference does that make for you? And I feel compassion for the other person. I recognize that there's probably a lot more going on than I realize, and that not all about me. So I said to her, sweetie, that's called perspective taking, and that's a coaching tool. And, bravo to you for using this. It shows up in big ways and it shows up in little ways. My mentality around parenting is to be very honest with my kids. I'm doing the best I can with what I've got, and sometimes I'm going to mess up, and probably a lot, right? And that the commitment that I have is that we're always in an open dialogue. I think another piece is noticing when I am getting hooked by someone else's narrative. Well, if my kid doesn't do this, then they're not going to do that. And that's probably going to impact their chances of getting into a good school. And if they don't get into a good school, it's like, I could get hooked on that, every day of the week. And when I notice it's happening, I'm like, this is not who I'm committed to being. And I generally try to pull myself back. But parenting is messy, And I think just having that grace with yourself, and then taking the feedback when something doesn't go great and trying to figure out how to work it through the next time. My daughter also told me in that conversation, she's pretty sure she's going into the wrong profession. She's like, maybe I really should be a coach, Mom.